steam. Here's James to the basket. Came over and got the block, and Sean Williams is fouled. Amari Stoudemire.
Stoudemire with a facial. Going right at Tyrus Thomas.
Smith against LeBron. Oh, slid right by him and throws down the hammer.
And Jalen Smith throws it down on a quick alley-oop from Pablo Prigioni.
It is a different transition.
Oh my goodness.
Smith elevates high and finds it.
They are a little razzle-dazzle.
Chandler!
He wants it. Here's the double. Back to Prigioni. Drives down. Alley up to Chandler. Now he takes it to the hole. Follow-up dunk by Chandler.
Yo, YouTube, what's cracking like a jacket smack? And it's Wolfman with video back with a second take. I made this video the first time, but I don't think I got my points across clearly the first time I made it, so I decided to remake it. So this is the second time I'm making this video. But anyways, I wanted to know, who do you guys think is the best player Carmelo Anthony's ever played with on the New York Knicks before this season? So this is talking about the Knicks, not the Nuggets days, but before last season, before Kristaps Porzingis came, we had players like Amari Stoudemire, players like J.R. Smith, players like Tyson Chandler, we had players like Iman Shumpert, Jeremy Lin, Steve Novak, Raymond Felton, Jason Kidd, Chauncey Billups, Tim Hardaway. I mean, all these players, and you know, I don't know if there's a clear number two in this picture. Now, the only player, take this in account, to make the All-Star team after Carmelo Anthony was traded before the Knicks was Tyson Chandler. Now, you can make the debate that J.R. Smith probably could have made the All-Star team that season too, but it was only Tyson Chandler. And the reason I say after and not before, because before Carmelo came, Amari Stoudemire made the All-Star team. Stoudemire never made the All-Star team after Carmelo came. And Stoudemire that season that he first came on the Knicks and then they traded for Carmelo was averaging 25 points per game, man. He was an all-star starter. Mind you, he was an all-star starter. He was an offensive superstar when he first played with the New York Knicks. He had 10 straight games where he was having more than 30 points, man. That's ridiculous, man. He did a lot for the New York Knicks his first season. But ever since him and Carmelo, they never really clicked together, man. For some reason, they just couldn't work together. The ball stopped. I mean, they both needed the ball in their hands, but I thought it could work. We had hopes as Knicks fans, but it never worked out. And ever since then, Amari Stoudemire's career has just been down the drain, man. After that, I mean, look at these stats real quick. First season, he averaged 25 points per game. Second season, he all the way goes down to about 17 points per game, which is kind of crazy. Now, the second season, 2011, was a lockout season, so it was a shortened season. But 17 points per game, though, that's it. The next season, he didn't even play that many games. He only played 29 games, and where the Knicks had their best season. So he wasn't even that impactful, and he started 0 games, man. This is a guy getting paid more than $20 million a year playing 0 games as a starter. Only averaging 14 points per game. I mean, come on, man. You gotta do better than that. Now, if you take a look at a player like J.R. Smith, his best season was the 2012 and 13 season with the Knicks, where he started 0 games as well. A season where Amari Stoudemire is injured a couple times. Season where Jason Kidd is injured a couple times. This man is playing 80 games, starts 0 games, and still averages 18.1 points per game. Wins the 6th Man of the Year award. Now, mind you, he did play 33 minutes per game. But still, man, this is your bench player averaging 18 points per game, and you got a guy making over 20 million, only averaging 14 points per game, and it's not even playing more than 50 games in the season. It's crazy, man. But that's how bad Amari was after Carmelo came. I don't know what happened to him. I guess his knees blew out and his athleticism just stopped him from playing, and all the injuries, stuff like that. It just ruined his career. But still, man, J.R. Smith was a great explosive player off the bench with his dunks, with his shooting. He was streaky, but it was also good. And he was one of those players where he was kept under a tight leash by Mike Woodson, man. I love the way Mike Woodson coached J.R. Smith, man. He made J.R. Smith into a pretty good player, made him better. But looking at Tyson Chandler was always a walking double-double. And, you know, he was the only Knicks to be an all-star after Carmelo was traded. So he was the only Knicks player to be an all-star. So Carmelo Anthony's never really had a second all-star on his team. Now, why am I talking about who's the best player that Carmelo's ever played with on the Knicks? Well, the reason I'm saying this is because when we're talking about LeBron James had Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh. LeBron James had Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love. Stephen Curry had Klay Thompson, now has Kevin Durant. Russell Westbrook had Kevin Durant, now he doesn't have anybody, but he was the top 5 players. These are all top 5 players, mind you. Top 5 players. Curry has Klay. Curry's the top 5 player. KD had Westbrook. Westbrook had KD. They're top 5 players. And then we got LeBron James having Wade and Kyrie. They're top 5 players. So when you look at it, you know, players like Carmelo Anthony never really have that second All-Star, man. I mean, if you look at all the players in the NBA, or most of the players that average the most in the league, I mean, Isaiah Thomas now has Al Horford. Kawhi Leonard had Tim Duncan. Now Kawhi Leonard has LaMarcus Aldridge and Pau Gasol. Still has Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili. You know, Damian Lillard had LaMarcus Aldridge. I mean, now he doesn't really have anybody, but he still has CJ McCollum there, I guess. Then you look at players like who else? Who else is in the league? I'm drawing blank. CP3 has Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan. I mean, listen, the list goes on and on. Kyrie Irving has LeBron. I mean, you look at Team USA. Jimmy Butler has Dwayne Wade. I mean, Jimmy Butler had Rose before, but I mean, now we have Rose. But I'm just saying, like, Carmelo Anthony, you can't. People like to put the blame on him all the time, but some people don't deserve any blame, man. I mean, you got players in the league like DeMarcus Cousins. DeMarcus Cousins is an absolute beast. You can't deny that DeMarcus Cousins might be the best big man in the NBA, but he's never really had a legit number 2 player next to him. Like, why? I don't understand. I don't know what the team is doing. DeMarcus Cousins has been in the league for 6 years now, and he doesn't really have a number 2 player. He's a big man. The best center in the game doesn't even have a legit good guard. I mean, maybe Tyreek Evans was there a few years back, but he's not. And then you go players like John Wall. I mean, John Wall, I guess he has Bradley Beal, but John Wall's never been put next to another All-Star, and it's just so weird, man. I mean, it's crazy how some NBA teams cannot put a player. It's been 6 years for both DeMarcus Cousins and John Wall, and they still don't really have a legitimate number 2 player on their team. Matter of fact, I don't know what the hell the Kings are doing. The Kings are a disgrace to the NBA, man. What the hell are they doing with that franchise? But you look at players like that, man, and like, you can't help but be helpless for them. I mean, you gotta feel bad for some of these players because it's not fair, man. They don't really have the teammates to compete. So one player can't lead the team to greatness unless you're LeBron James, unless you're a top 5 player like that. You can't really do it on your own. And Anthony Davis, sooner or later, might be falling under that category because he's been in the NBA for what, 4 seasons? This might be his 5th season, and they still don't really have any talent on the Pelicans, so it's gonna suck. But anyways, leave your thoughts in the comment section. What you think about who Carmelo Anthony's best teammates been on the Knicks and this whole situation, man? Because, you know, like I said, DeMarcus Cousins, John Wall, Carmelo never really had a good, legit number 2 option. And as I'm watching the Olympics, it's like, yo, if Carmelo Anthony or DeMarcus Cousins actually had a legit All-Star on their team, or maybe a legit superstar, they will probably be going crazy because they are killing it right now. But anyways, I'm out for now. Peace.